I'm leaving here like, yo, like deep breath out, and I didn't even know what to expect coming in here. As a hooper, it's like depending on how young you start, it's like it's the only thing that you know. It's the only thing that you devote yourself to, and it's like everything else is like a distraction to you achieving whatever your goal is, whether it's getting to the league, a scholarship, or, making a high school team or whatever it is. And I think depending on how far you go with that, and how far you get with hooping, you start realizing all of these, looking back, all these opportunities that you didn't acknowledge and that you could have pursued, but because it was outside of hooping, you're like, yo, I can't, it's a distraction. I always tell, kids that young hoopers and that are, in the shoes that I once was, I always sympathize with them. And I always tell them, like, yo, the reality is you can't hoop for life. You know what I'm saying? I know they hear this all the time, but like I was also that kid who was like, nah, don't tell me that. Like I know where I'm going. But I think I would have received it better if people told me how I'm telling them now is like, no, if you want to go to the league, if you want to go however far you want to go with hooping, that's fine. Like I'm with you. Like do that. Do the greatest. You know what I mean? But also don't neglect other things that you're great at as well. Yes, some of it I was doing it for myself, but also some of it was to like not show that I gave up in a sense. You know what I'm saying? And I think once I was able to make peace with like, yo, appreciate the journey that basketball brought you. You know what I mean? Like it got me to a point where like, yo, I've met some of the coolest people. I've, you know, made relationships that, last a lifetime. And, it's just like being thankful for that. And um, but yeah, it can get tricky. It can really get you down a rabbit hole if you don't use basketball and let it use you. I tore my groin, um, my my hip labrum actually, and it was at like a pivotal time where I was like, you know, kind of on the cusp of like, yo, I need to have a great season, so I need to, everything needs to kind of be going according to plan. So I tore my hip, and then a couple, weeks or later, COVID happens, you know, and so like everything stops, not just me playing basketball, but like the world stops, and it's like I think it hit me. That's where identity crisis came in because it was like it hit me like, yo, one, I can't play basketball because I'm injured, but two, the world is not even playing basketball. So it's like I couldn't even play basketball if I was healthy. So like what am I going to do? What do I have to offer as a person? And yo, like that was like a tough time, man. Like COVID, just like not being able to see anybody, so it's like you really have to focus on being well with yourself. Um, searching from within was like a big thing for me, and it was the toughest time, but it built me to the point where now, um, and I went through anxiety for the first time, and like panic attacks of just like, yo, I don't know, like, at the time I was 25 or 23 years ago, I was 25. So I'm just like, yo, I'm 25. I've lived a quarter century. Like, is this how my, you know what I mean? Is this where I'm at? Like, is this all I have to offer to the world? But it was a necessary stop, though. That's what got me to this point. Like, really just stripping down everything down to just like you as a human, as yourself. Like, you know, what do you need? Like, not the wants, just like the needs. And I think I think I would say that's how I got to the point where I'm just very happy, with even and this is not to say like even when shit doesn't go well or, like there's times where I'm just like, everybody goes through those hard times, bro. And it's like, but I'm I'm good with myself, you know what I'm saying? And it's like I'm also very aware that the the tough times and the bad times don't last. And I also look at the tough times as necessary to get me to the next step. And, is I don't look at it as an attack, you know. I don't look at it as like, yo, why is this happening to me? Um it was just a total shift, man. And that's how I got to this point of success from within. A lot of the stuff is just like throwing yourself into that fire. Like I remember I just went to a pawn shop and bought like my first film camera, and like, just started, just out of nowhere, just like, yo, I want to just start taking pictures, start doing videography and things of that nature. Like my videography that I shoot with VHS is like a camera that one of my family members, my cousin, passed down to me, and just not overcomplicating things, really making them like, you have a camera, shoot. You have a photography camera, take pictures. Um, so once I was able to have access to those mediums, um, I just kept exploring them. And, now it's gotten me to a point where I feel like I'm getting the hang of things, but like I'm still very open to like learning more. I also know that I don't know shit. You know what I mean? And I know just a little bit. I'll say that. And it's yeah. I would say that it always was in me. It just needed space to grow. You do shit for yourself, but also like, you know, you kind of want people to receive it well as well. And to kind of reaffirm that, you're doing dope shit. And it's been going well, man. It's people are I'm getting booked for shit that for show to do events, videography wise, photography wise, um, and it's honestly a blessing. Yeah, it's honestly a blessing. Because I think that's always like what we look at is like, yo, like I just hope people receive the art the s- the same way that I put my all into it. The earthquake that happened in Haiti that actually, you know, um, forced me to move at the time to the US. And it was probably like still to this day the scariest day of my life. You know what I'm saying? Um at the time I was 2012, 2010, so I was 20, I was 13, I was 14, 15. Yeah, I was 15. And like, bro, you know, no 15-year-old should have to see, you know, just people, have to pick up, friends from like rubble that, that are dead, and you know, just like helping like my dad pick up one of his close friends who, fell under the rubble, and shit like that, or seeing people being literally dumped into, you know, the trash, literally dumped into the trash like they're picking up, uh, the trucks, and I think from that point also it was like it opened up my perspective to like, bro, to this day, I live with survivor's guilt, bro. I feel like you know I s- you know I sh- I'm here, but like I feel like there's other people that should have as well, and and that's why like I rep Haiti so hard, man, because I feel like that's the least that I could do. Working, being of principle, and authenticity. Yeah, I would say authenticity for sure. I gotta be able to see myself in whatever I'm doing, even if later down the line, 5 years from now, I may be a different person, but I'm able to look back from 5 years and be like, I was being me. I wasn't chasing a trend. I wasn't chasing being somebody else or something else. Like I was being me, with the flaws, the everything. I was being myself. I think that's the way that I cope with um, survivor's guilt to this day. I don't get the amount of sleep that I should be getting for my age, or whatever the case is, but like I need to, you know, I I need to at some point. I definitely need to, but as of right now, it's like it's almost like the grind is overpowering everything else, and I do want to get to a point where it's like, I can relax a bit more, or but I honestly just don't see it. I don't see it in the near future. Yo, this North American lifestyle is flawed, bro. It's almost literally to bring to your point. They want to grind you out until you disappear. And in a perfect world, it would be to like get away from this. I think at a certain age, be able to go back home to Haiti. I think um, my success would I would feel amazing if I would be able to see a Haiti, in its power and its true beauty, you know, and that may supersede my existence.